zone. He's got Simpkins caught in for the touchdown. Deshaun Simpkins with the snag.
Looking left to Sims Marshall. Home run down for Jalen Marshall. He's got a touchdown.
Week 10 set to unfold here from the Schwarm, along with Uncle Kev. Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Glad to have you along here on Chatterbox Plus. Tonight, it's the Hamilton Big Blue hosting the Mason Comets. And Kev, as we enter this one, Week 10, can't believe the end of the season is finally here.
It is, it's truly amazing, Jeff. Feels like just yesterday we were up at West Claremont watching this same Hamilton team come back in a huge victory. Obviously, their season has gone up and down, left, right, sideways after that game. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with here tonight. New quarterback on tap. And then the Mason Comets really have played good football, except for that fourth quarter.
There's an old adage, and I think it's more apt in the NBA. You got to play all 48 minutes, but that is very true here in high school football.
Oh, absolutely. You got to play all 48. And when we talk about them here in a little bit, we'll go a little bit deeper into what we mean by that. But for this Mason team, you know, their season really has been one where they're on the cusp of having, honestly, probably, 6-7 wins underneath their belt right now. And I was thinking about this last night after you and I had talked about just how frustrating that is to be so close to greatness, so close to being one of the top teams in the state. You're one quarter away, a few plays away from having that here for Mason.
Mason comes in with a record of 3-6. They are 2-5 in the GMC. Hamilton, the Big Blue, in at 2-5, 1-5 in the GMC. It is senior night here in Hamilton, here at the Schwarm, and we'll take a quick time out here. We'll step aside when we return. Well, the starting lineups and the opening kick when we return here on Chatterbox Plus. Time now for our starting lineups here in this one, powered by Cintas.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Hamilton City School Board of Education, Superintendent Mr. Michael Holbrook.
Over 1 million businesses rely on Cintas, so get Cintas and get ready for the workday. And as we look here, live here at Hamilton, it'll be the south end or to your right that Hamilton will defend. We didn't get the chance to see who was going to be on offense first, so we'll go with the home team first. It is senior night, in fact, after all. Hamilton, the Big Blue, in at 2-5, 1-5 in the GMC. Their head coach is Nate Mahan. In his third year with the program, 13-15. In his ninth year overall, 53-40. The quarterback we are expecting, this will be a game time decision, is number 3, Gabe Verdon, 6'1", 220 pounds, a junior. He'll be flanked by the running back in this one, Caleb Johnson. Hassan Robertson's the tight end, 3 wideouts, Breon Ishmael, Elijah Givens, and Kerry Ware. From tackle to tackle, left to right, Derek Deaton, Carry-On Jones, Tyler Camden, Preston Ratliff, and Hayden Renner, though we'll see a lot of Caden Bennett here tonight. The Comets on starting defense, they're 3-6, 2-5 in the GMC. Brian Castor's the head coach in his 12th year with the program, 73-51. A 4-2 look here on defense. The ends are 27 Bryce Falk and 51 Caden Davis. Malachi Reed and Aaron Spears are in the middle as D tackles. The linebackers, and a couple of really good ones that we'll talk about, Jake Bates and Caden Evans, and 5 defensive backs. The corners are Zach Rogers and J.C. Deaton, and the safeties are Weston Simmons, Mikey Jones, and Kyle Wolfworth. And while we got a little bit of time before we get to the other side of the starting lineups, time to zero in with Zilch.
Yeah, today's Week 10 keys of the game, which is just, again, really weird to say right now. But, yeah, for Mason, you know, and it kind of starts off with what we were talking about earlier. You got to finish the games. And if you want to win tonight, you have to play all 4 quarters. Minus 36 point differential in the fourth quarter. That's their only point differential throughout the three other quarters. So that says it right there that they have to produce in the fourth quarter on both sides of the football. And then you got to get the ball in the playmaker's hands, especially Nick Sellers. Almost 800 yards so far this year on the ground for the Mason Comets. So get the balls in those type of playmakers' hands and let the offensive line do the work for the Mason Comets. And then you got to run the ball tonight, and you have to run the ball consistently. Keep that Hamilton offense off the field. Over 1,000 yards on the ground for Mason so far this season alone. And then for Hamilton, utilize what they have on the outside. And what I mean by that is utilize Kerry Ware's strength on the outside blocking. Get those jet sweeps in there off the edge. Utilize that into the program. I know Coach Vonderheide, the offensive coordinator, was talking about that to us a little bit earlier on the field. And then utilize Gabe Verdon and utilize his size no matter where he plays tonight. We saw him out there, and one of the biggest points I pointed to was like, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. And he's a thick, big kid. He's an athlete. Whether he's at quarterback, receiver, tight end, wherever they decide to put him here tonight, utilize his strength. And then, honestly, soak this all in. This is your last home game for your seniors. It's senior night. This is it right here, right now. You want to win your final home game in front of the crowd here at this beautiful stadium on this picture-perfect football night in the fall. And, Jeff, those are my Week 10 keys to the game.
And I appreciate them, Kevin, especially the soaking them in part, because this will indeed be the last home game, because where they're situated from a playoff standing, they won't get an opportunity to host.
Right.
And while they should just be blessed to be participating in the playoffs, and we'll talk about that as we progress through this ball game, the fact stands is that they'll be on the road for as long as they're in the playoffs.
Exactly. And, any time that, you coach a team or you have a team that's playing their final home game in front of their crowd, it's an emotional night. Now, you also, as a coach, have to figure out a way to control that energy and control that emotion. We saw it last week with Kings where they kind of came out a little sluggish, and that's what you can't have happen against a Mason team that obviously they know how to score points in the first, second, and third quarters. So if for Hamilton, you got to control that emotion, but also live in the moment. Be live, be here, understand what's going on, and understand what's about to happen in front of you here tonight, and focus in on that. So it should be an exciting night here in the GMC.
Mason has taken the field, at least come out to the other sideline, and we're still waiting Hamilton to take the field. In fact, you see the flag bearers right at the 30-yard line, just waiting for the charge out onto the field. Let's give you, while we can, the Mason offense and the Hamilton defense. First for Mason, their quarterback is 5, Larson Brown at 6'3", 200 pounds, a junior. He's flanked by Nick Sailors. The running back, Ben Fosnot, is the tight end. 3 wide receivers, the split end is Kobe Lewis. Saeed Garrett is in the slot, and then the flanker is Michael Molnar. The tackles are Lane Davidson and Cooper Schreider. The guards are Michael Wood and Ben Cravens. The center tonight is Skylar Horn. The defense is a 43 defensive look for Hamilton. Antoine Chisley and Trey Verdon are the DNs. The defensive tackles are Caden Bennett and Devon Mick. We'll see plenty of Tyler Camden down there as well. The linebackers, a good bunch. Lanny Ash, Breon Ishmael, and Gabe Verdon. The corners are Andrew Huff and Elijah Gibbons, and the safeties are Donovan Ripley and Jalen Garrett. And we do hear the din of the drums in the behind, and you would imagine that means that's going to signal the entrance, a long-awaited entrance of the Hamilton Big Blue coming on in. I know there's an old line partner. Anticipation is half the fun. Well, let's get on with it.
And I think this is part of those, one of those things where you're just trying to soak this all in for the kids, for the seniors especially here tonight. Their last game at the Schwarm, this beautiful football facility. I was telling you, coached in a lot of football stadiums in my career, been in a lot of them. This is hands down one of the nicest facilities I've ever been in. So, soak it in, live it up a little bit. That might make you a little late to the field.
Well, and Nate Mahan down at the field level, right? Right before the cheerleaders waving. He is exhorting his team right now. And here comes the Big Blue. Soaking it in, as you had mentioned, and I think that's apt as far as what we're seeing here tonight. A tough season for Hamilton, not necessarily from the record standpoint, though it's not where Coach Mahan wants it to be. It's just the fact that they had lost a couple games due to COVID restrictions.
And, you and I saw them in that very first game. They came back from a 20-point first-quarter deficit in that game, a highly emotional game. Week 1, you're able to come back, fight back. You're still trying to figure out your team. And I mentioned to you last night, Jeff, that, man, I would have loved to have seen what would happen with this team had they not had that two-week break right after that emotional win. Because you can ride that into week 2, week 3, wherever it's supposed to go. You can ride that wave of emotion they had from week 1. So, we had their game against Lakota West, and that was week 5, if I'm not mistaken, and Coach Vonderheide was like, well, we're in week 2, actually, because that's literally what they had to restart their entire season.
And they've had a gauntlet. I mean, coming back on the restart, they had to face Lakota East, who had been as hot as anybody at the point of that season, and then they had to face Lakota West. By the way, it will be Mason to defend, so they'll defer to the second half, and it'll be Hamilton to get started here in the kicking game. The return specialist tonight, Elijah Givens, we're expecting, along with Andrew Huff and Caleb Johnson. In fact, we had saw right here in week 5 that Elijah Givens had returned a 90-yarder against Lakota West.
And that was actually one of those games that was kind of weird. We had, 3 special team scores in that game, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes.
Yeah, very different game. But here we go, Jeff, week 10.
Away we go here from the Schwarm. Givens from the 15, angles to the right, to the 25, looking to turn the corner, to the 35, to the 40, angles out of bounds, and great field position to start things off here in week 10.
And now we'll get to see who is the starting quarterback for the Hamilton Big Blue right now. Trying to look down there and see what it is. Don't see it, but yeah, great return there. And that's what you want to have happen. Right off the bat, get yourself in great field position. That's where you want to be to start this offense for Hamilton.
So Nate Mahan had been very mum in talking about starters here tonight.
If I'm not mistaken, that's number 3, Gabe Verdon.
Verdon in the pistol with Caleb Johnson behind him. And the give, the first carry of the night for Johnson into space! Down the sideline to the 40 and angles out of bounds. A big gainer on first down.
Well, there it is, running right off the edge, and you get those great down blocks when you do that, and you're able to take your body and block them down off the edge. Creates a great seam, gets down the field. I don't know about that spot, though. I thought he was well down the field from where that was, but...
Pickup of 16 officially, 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. And coming into this ballgame, Caleb Johnson had 905 yards. He's trying to get to the millennium mark, and he's well on his way after a pickup of 16. 1st and 10, and another give to Johnson off left tackle this time, and he is strung up for the loss.
Well, one thing you saw there, what the Mason Comets did that time as opposed to what they did in the previous play, was they actually flowed to the football. So they had good flow, and they stayed at home. Their linebackers stayed at home, were able to read that play and flow right to the football and make the tackle in the backfield.
J.C. Deaton the first to get there. 2nd and 12, so it's a loss of 2 on the play. So we move to the visiting side on the hash mark. Week number 10 unfolding as we speak here at Virgil M. Schwarm Stadium, or as we affectionately call it, the Schwarm. Again, that pistol look and a play action. Roll right for the quarterback Verdon. He'll throw for the first time tonight. Complete out at the 37-yard line.
Verdon's pass is complete to Elijah Gibbons.
Elijah Gibbons gets his first catch of the night.
I like that play call. Get him out of the pocket, get him moving. Their offensive line we've seen has been a little shaky at best throughout the season, so I like that. Early on, getting Verdon out of the pocket, get him moving.
Pickup of 7, and this year, Hamilton on 3rd down, 25%, 15 of 60. And the give to Johnson into space should have the first down, out to the 32-yard line, and that's where he needed to be to move the chains.
Yep, get the chains moving. Great block there by the center, Tyler Camden. He was able to take his nose tackle and get him down. Looks like we got an injured Comet out there. Not sure who that is.
I'll take a look at trying to get it. 24, I believe, is what I saw. Weston Simmons, 5'11", 175 pounds, a junior, a safety, and one of the safeties on the team here. And while we have a moment, Eli Sports Bar and Grill proudly sponsors high school football with 3 locations in Mason, Liberty Township, and in Ross. Our 10-foot screens guarantee a great view from every seat in the house. Eli Sports Bar and Grill, the best place in Cincinnati for sports, food, and fun. So a good start so far, partner, for Hamilton. They're moving the ball. as we're now starting to see Simmons get up to his feet, and good news to see the young man up on his feet.
Absolutely, yeah. Three really great plays there in a row for Hamilton. What I can see what Coach Vonderheide is doing, he's testing out where he can run the football. And right now, he's got it up the middle and off the edge. He's had great success so far early on in this drive in the ball game. So I can kind of see he's trying to poke and see, okay, where's their weakness at right now? And also to keep that Mason defense guessing a little bit. So great play call, great scripting right now going on for Hamilton.
Gabe Verdon, by the way, coming into this ball game, 13 of 27 passing. That's 48%, 173 yards. He has yet to throw a touchdown and has thrown 2 picks. He's got a rating of 87.2. So as we resume 1st and 10 at the 32, and a little delayed give to Caleb Johnson, and boy, those legs are churning for a hard-fought 2 yards on that play. Really did a good job of taking Zach Rogers for a ride.
Well, that's what he did. You lower those shoulder pads, Jeff. You're able to get in there, and you keep those feet turning. And anytime, for running backs, coaches, running backs listening out there, get low and learn to play with leverage. And that's exactly what he did right there. Got low and drug him down, and you're going to fall forward for an extra yard and a half.
Caleb is listed at 215 pounds. Zach Rogers on the other side, who is at the bottom of that pile, 160 pounds.
Yeah, I'm going to say Caleb's going to win that battle.
They call it a pickup of 3. And the quarterback keeping. Verdon has first down yardage out to the 21-yard line. Was that Verdon or they? It was indeed Verdon. They've often played Elijah Givens on that one.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the replay right here, and I love this play. You fake the jet sweep coming across. Quarterback's going to keep it, but the key to that play there is the fake. Gabe Verdon was able to get the ball in there. He showed the ball very clearly, took it out. Remember, on a fake or any play action, it's what you do without the football. As it's just as important what you do with it. So another great play call there, and now setting up a nice 1st and 10 situation for Hamilton.
They'll spot the ball at the 21-yard line. It's off the hands of Verdon. It's still loose, and he'll have to eat it. Back to the 36-yard line, and that's a loss of 15.
Well, that's exactly what you didn't want to have happen if you're Hamilton right there. And one thing I would say is I think they need to slow things down a little bit here. It was a bad snap. They were lucky to get it back. But again, now look, he just had 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line. Now you have 2nd and a mile from basically the 36-yard line.
So are we saying 2nd in Oxford at this point?
Pretty much, yeah. I think that's about down to Miami.
Ball's at the 36, as we mentioned, on the loss of 15. And the checkoff at the line for Verdon. Twins to each side, and Verdon will throw. On 2nd down, nearly picked off, and it is picked off at the 20-yard line. Picked off out there by Sean Kruckenberg. A backup linebacker, 5'11", 160 pounds, a junior.
It's a bad play. Bad throw by Verdon there. I mean, Gabe just, he underthrew his receiver. Had he put the ball where he should have, we're talking about a touchdown right now for Hamilton. But unfortunately, it was a poorly thrown football. And that's something that, he's going to have to grow and learn that. But right now, if I'm Hamilton, I'm looking at the positives from that drive. We ran the ball very well. We were able to do some things dynamically on offense. Ran a fake jet sweep. We were able to get the quarterback moving. So there's some positives there. But yeah, that was a devastating blow for Hamilton.
The quarterback is Larson Brown. Well, we see 7 out there, as that's Michael Molnar's number, as he picks up some good yardage. And you wonder if he's getting to start at quarterback because it is the final regular season game, and he's a senior.
Well, we haven't seen Mason that much, so I don't know enough about their background and where they've been. But hey, put him in a wildcat type situation. That might be something that they're want to incorporate into this offense.
So Michael was the starting quarterback on last year's squad, and he's still in there at quarterback with Nick Sailors to his left. 2nd, and we'll call it 4. The motion, the pitch into the backfield, and calling up front, and big yardage out to the 40 to midfield, and tracked down from behind.
Saeed Garnett is the ball carrier for Mason. He is tackled by Breon Ishmael.
So Ishmael had to track him down by Saeed Garnett, at 5'9", 160 pounds, a senior.
We'll take a look at the replay here, and you'll see Saeed, a great burst of speed right there when he hits that line. a fantastic burst of speed, and that's the way he's able to get down and beat those Hamilton defenders.
So already in a couple of plays, they've gained 32 yards. A pickup of 27 on that last one by Garnett. And they go to the left side once more. And good yardage on first down. Michael Molnar on the keeper once more. And Michael has seen a little bit of everything. He's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife. This is as a receiver. He's had 20 receptions this year, but he's run the ball coming into the ball game 45 times. He's now got a couple more carries, and he's thrown the ball. Obviously, he started a couple of games at quarterback this year.
You got to love kids like that you can basically say, hey, go do this, go play this, whenever you need him. That's the type of player, you want to have him build a program around.
Bryant Violand is the lone wide out to the left, triples to the near side. And they run it with Sailors. Off the right side, behind the center and the right guard, Skylar Horn and Ben Cravens. And he's got the first down.
Oh, that's exactly. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Go ahead, partner.
No, I was just going to say, great play. That's exactly what you want to do there. Chunk away those yards, keep the clock rolling. I can kind of see what Mason's trying to get into, getting in that rhythm, getting on that schedule now to get in the end zone.
Ash on the tackle, and by the way, Sailors is now over 800 yards running this year. He came in with 798 on 139 attempts. That's 5.7 yards per attempt. First and 10 from the 38-yard line. No score with 5:45 left to go here in this first period. Molnar will throw out to the far side. It's Garnett for minimal yards. Did good once he was caught in the backfield and spun up for a couple more.
Well, Hamilton was playing that kind of 4-3 look where they actually gave up the flats there a little bit. I was actually expecting him to actually jet out a little bit more. Had they done that, they would have had a much bigger yardage play there. So I'm curious to see if they're going to recognize that and come back to that later on if those flats are wide open, because there was nobody around him until they flowed to the football.
Pickup of 2. Doubles to the near side. And they're sticking with Molnar at quarterback. And the keeper off the left side has big yards across the 30, has the first down.
Molnar with the carry for Mason. He is tackled.
So Andrew Huff got in his way, but moved the chains. First and 10 coming up.
Just chunking away yards. Great run right there by the quarterback, Molnar. I mean, when you're able to get those type of blocking, and another fantastic way to break a tackle as well by him. So he's very dynamic back there. Like you said, a Swiss Army knife.
Michael had a couple catches for 52 yards, including a 39-yard touchdown receiving a week ago. But he continues to be in the backfield. And the keeper by the quarterback, and great sleight of hand and forward progress. I think he got lost yardage on the play.
Well, they lost yardage because one guy didn't do his job. There was a huge wall there created by Skylar Horn, the center, Ben Cravens, the guard, and the tackle, Cooper Sheffer, there. They just absolutely destroyed the entire right side of the line. Unfortunately, on the back side, the left tackle just simply missed his block, and that was the one guy that made the tackle. You do away with that or get a block there, we're talking about a touchdown right there, I tell you much.
So Sailors is in the backfield, and Molnar continues to be a quarterback, and we go doubles to the bottom of your screen. 3:50 to go here in this first period, no score, and a quick moving one here so far at the Schwarm. Molnar will throw, a deep throw, incomplete. Way too tall up there for Bryant Violand.
Oh, he had a guy in his face really quick, so he had to get rid of that ball, otherwise risk taking a sack. Smart play by Molnar to get that ball out of his hands, but he's got to be careful with that. Doesn't want to throw an interception, but another decently smart play by the quarterback. But, man, he had a guy in his face really quick, Jeff.
Ninth play coming up here with 3:41 frozen on the clock. No score here at the Schwarm tonight. Week 10 of the GMC. Violand and Garnett flanked out to the top of your screen. And to the near side, it's Kobe Lewis. Rolling right, throwing, and incomplete. I mean, heavy pressure. Breon Ishmael pancaked Michael Molnar, and he was lucky to get it away, incomplete.
Well, I don't think anybody picked him up, but I mean, he read that play action great, was able to just put the Jets on and absolutely demolish the quarterback in the backfield. Molnar had really nowhere to go with that ball.
So they'll go here on 4th down, where they are 6 and 16. 6 for 16 this year. That's 37.5%. Meanwhile, Hamilton on the other side has given up 50% on 4th down this year. 6 for 12. So here we go, the first big play of the game. Doubles to the top of your screen. 4th and 12. Molnarth will throw. A little screen out to the right side for Lewis. He is stopped at the 22, and they'll turn it over on downs.
Molnar's pass is complete to Kobe Lewis. On the tackle for the Big Blue is Jalen Garrett. It's going to be a turnover on downs. First and 10, Big
very
Blue.
Interesting play call there. I mean, screenplay on 4th and long. There's part of me that understands. There's other part of me that I'm just like, hey, drop back and throw the football. It was actually not the play design was there. Unfortunately, it just took too long to develop. And when you're on 4th down and you're trying to get that first down, especially inside in their territory. Man, I'll tell you what, I would have called something different there, but I mean, another big win for Hamilton, though. I mean, to get the ball back now with the way they're running the football at the end of that drive, this will be interesting here.
So a 9-play drive that ends in nothing, and it's a turnover on downs. 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Johnson stopped momentarily. He surges forth. Might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. The last time these two teams met, it was last year on September 25th, right here at the Schwarm. And it was a game that you saw right here on Chatterbox Sports. The Big Blue got by the Comets 12-7. Malik Verdon filling in for an injured Quincy Sims-Marshall at quarterback, ran in the go-ahead touchdown with 4:18 left to go. And by the way, a little history note from a Chatterbox standpoint. This is the 3rd straight Hamilton-Mason matchup that I've seen.
Oh, wow. There you go.
We saw them, and we'll get to that here shortly. 2nd, and we'll call it 11, so a loss on the play. And the roll right. And the runner scatting forward. I believe that's Givens out to the 26-yard line, so a nice little pickup. So we've seen an interception and a turnover on downs on this one. So the last time Mason had won in the series, it was the year before at their place. And it was Larson Brown's older brother who had actually been the quarterback here on that team. His older brother, Colin threw, I believe, for 3 touchdowns in that game. 2 to a young man named Brett Wexelblatt. I do have an affinity for names that are unique, and that one is unique. The throw, incomplete, out of the 37 and a flag on the play. Intended for Breon Ishmael, and it might have been a little too early for Miles Jackson to get in on it.
Well, Hamilton needed that in the worst way. Their offense was just not getting going, or they could not find any rhythm so far on this drive. So you pick up that first down, you get some momentum now, or at least moving the ball down the field.
By the way, the man you're seeing in the picture is Brian Kress, who is tonight's referee. The umpire is Matthew Bolton. The line judge is Angelo Salatas. James Rudisell is the linesman, and the back job is Kyle Kress. And believe me, those names are a handful tonight. So the penalty moves the ball up just past the 40-yard line. Just under 2 minutes to play here in this quick-moving first quarter. Verdon with time to throw. The home run, incomplete, out inside the 30, intended for Ishmael. And he was double covered very well. The closest to it was the safety, Weston Simmons.
Great coverage by the backfield there for Mason. But I'll tell you what, the pass blocking up front by the offensive line gave him all the time in the world to make that deep throw. And if they continue to do that throughout the night, they're going to have great success. I mean, the center, it's all, centered around the center. Tyler Camden, Preston Ratliff, and then the right tackle, Hayden Renner. Just absolutely fantastic offensive line blocking up front. They don't get enough credit. We don't get enough credit as a former offensive lineman. So got to give the big guys up front a big shout out there.
Tight formation here in this setup, 2nd and 10. And it's Johnson reversing field, and he loses yards back to the 35-yard line. We didn't get a chance to tell you, so we'll get a chance to tell you now. Game time temperature at 50 degrees, and it is plummeting here. Wind southeast at 2 miles per hour. I'm looking at the flagpole out to our left, and it is dead. And humidity at 92%. We had a big threat of rain earlier in the day. That has since subsided, and I think we're down to about 15% right now. So 3rd and 16 as we are done playing meteorologist for the night.
This is another 3rd and long situation, and, kind of going back to what we had talked about even last night, they've been in these 3rd and long situations all year long. Tells you they got to do something better on 2nd down like they did right there.
Play action and throw, incomplete, dropped by the receiver. Tough one for Kerry Ware, who had started at quarterback for about half the season, has really picked it up on offense as a receiver, looking for his 10th catch, couldn't pull it in.
Well, talking with Coach Vonderheide in the pregame, he said that gives them, an extra blocking threat on the outside, so they can start running those jet sweeps and start getting, just better blocking. When you ever have a big guy like that understands the game and understands blocking on the edge, that's huge for an offense. Oh, got a penalty here.
So it's illegal procedure, that's for sure. And double safeties as we'll back up 5. Kerry Ware is the punter, who is averaging just about 27.5 yards per punt this year. He's got 1 inside the 20, a long of 38. And we look at Mason with a double return setup. I believe that's Lewis out to the bottom of your screen, and 25 at the top of your screen is Mikey Jones, starting safety, a backup running back on this team. They're both flanked out at the 32-yard line. So Ware will quick punt it. And it's down the sideline, stayed inbounds.
Wow.
Mercy. That thing had eyes on it. And they'll spot it at the 24-yard line.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, that is now the longest punt of the year for young Mr. Ware. 46 yards, nothing on the return.
Well, I'll say this, it kind of goes back, I think they call it trestle ball. Sometimes your best offensive play is a punt. And right there so far on that drive, that was their best offensive play outside of the penalty that they got, the pass interference. So, they're forcing Mason back in there. Now the Hamilton defense has got to come up big again.
And we'll see if it's Molnar that's still out there, and he is. So no Larson Brown so far, and Coach Kastner in our pregame check gave no indication, so some surprises there, and it's complete out at the 30-yard line. Andrew Huff wrestling out Bryant Violand, who I think picks up his 2nd catch of the night.
Well, right now, for Mason, it's all about just kind of getting in that rhythm and methodically getting a drive down the field. They had that going the last time, but Hamilton was able to shore everything up, when they finally got into that red zone area. So, right now, if you're Mason, you want to get points on the board, but you want to be methodical with it.
Down in distance, 2nd and 2. Sailors has the ball, and he's close to the first down. Nick Sailors, we had mentioned, at 197 pounds. Now, if you look at his listing on the GMC website from a year ago, he was at 164 a year ago. So in a span of 12 months from last year's preseason to this year's preseason, the young man has gained 33 pounds.
Well, and that's a testament to, just getting in the weight room. When you're able to do that, and you can tell that that's commitment. And also, I've said this for a long time coaching. Kids' bodies are weird, man. I mean, one year they're small, the next year they blow up, and it's like, what did you do?
So Molnar is flanked out to the left. And we now see Larson Brown, and a big gainer up the middle. First down yardage.
Gets the handoff for Mason.
Well, when you do that and you put your quarterback, stretch him out, guess what that makes the defense do? They're thinking about anything but that offensive play.
We are due for a timeout. We are at the end of one period. No score between Hamilton and Mason here on Chatterbox Plus. About ready to start the second quarter along with Kevin Zilch. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us here on Chatterbox Plus. Coming up at the half, we'll talk with Missy Harvey, who's the athletic director here at Hamilton High School.
Mikey Jones with the carry.
Jones with yet another carry.
No gain brings up.
He had the big gainer to end things just in the last frame. So he had spelled Nick Sailors, who was injured in the last game against Princeton, and did a yeoman's job, carried the ball 12 times a week ago and had a 10-yard touchdown reception against Princeton.
That tight bunch formation, Jeff, up to the left there. Yep, and that's where they're going to go.
Here's the pitch to Jones off the left side for a gain of 2. So it looked like he had a little space and Hamilton sealed it up.
Yeah, they flowed right into that. You know, you kind of give away the play a little bit when you're doing that, especially when you haven't ran that formation yet in the game. I always like running that formation, but then running just a normal play to the right, or just, you know, kind of come back to that, set that type of play up so the defense is more caught off guard, because right there they snuffed it all out just like I did from the get-go.
Mason on third down is 41.5% this year. 3rd and 9. Just a minute and change gone on by here in the second. Deep drop for Brown. He's looking for the home run. Now goes to the sideline. It is complete to Garnett, who is in traffic and got the first down. Now escapes out to the 35 and was a step away from breaking it.
Larson Brown's pass is complete to Saeed Garnett.
A big-time break, and Jalen Garrett had to stop him.
Well, go back in here and look at the replay. Has a guy in his face. He pumps the ball a few times, makes a great play, and look at the footwork here by the receiver, just breaking tackles, spinning out of him. Great play for Mason.
So move the chains 1st and 10, and Garnett has made his presence felt either on the jet sweep or on the receiving. It's Molnar to the bottom of your screen, and Brown waiting for the ball. Looking, now will keep up front. He's not much of a running threat as he gains a couple of yards. To tell you how much of not of a running threat he is, I actually have no offensive yards as a rusher this year for Brown.
Well, you know, sometimes like that, you know, you get a kid in there week 10, get him some Friday night football experience, you know, I think that'll only build his confidence in going into the playoffs.
2nd and we'll call it 2. And speaking of the playoffs, with the playoffs expanding to 16 teams, both of these schools are in it this year. Where they'll be seated, well, we'll still have to wait till the end of tonight to figure that one out. 2nd down, we'll call it 8. Brown looking right, throws to the sideline. Oh, and a great job whipping it out there for the first down.
Brown's pass is complete to Molnar.
So he finds Michael Molnar, who's done a lot of damage tonight at quarterback. That's Michael's first reception tonight. That's his 21st catch.
Yeah, you know, this is very interesting to me. I'm very curious, you know, what was the deal, you know, with Molnar going to receiver now to quarterback and everything.
You want to know why?
I would love to know why, Jeff.
Well, one of the things, and we mentioned this, right? Michael had been the starting quarterback all of last year, and it started, obviously he started tonight. It started a game earlier this year in relief of Brown when Brown was nursing something, as we have twins to the top side. And Brown will get, and the running play up the middle, and another first down for the backup running back, Mikey Jones, as we enter in the Cincinnati Reds red zone. For breaking news and behind-the-scenes content, follow the Reds on social. You can find them on Twitter at Reds. So Mikey Jones has made his presence felt, starting safety, but it's running the ball where he's made his presence felt tonight.
Well, that just attributed really this offensive line for Mason has just been playing really well. I'm really curious what they're going to run here inside the goal line. Oh, timeout now.
As we have a stoppage in play. Want to remind you that if your AC or furnace is struggling, turn to the experts at Bartell's Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians get the job done right the first time. And if you need a new unit, Bartell's will give you upfront pricing with no hidden fees. Plus, ask about Bartell's 0% interest financing for 60 months. Learn more at bartellsheatingandcooling.com. Bartell's Heating and Cooling for a comfortable way of life. Along with Uncle Kev, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Week 10 here in the GMC on Chatterbox Plus. Producing us tonight, Art Funk, and one of our production twins is back with us, Zach Teeters. He's not taking any real credit. He's just kind of hanging out with us, right?
What else would you rather be doing on a Friday night, man?
Our videographers, a pair of really good ones here tonight. Matty Morris is right to my right. And Alex McClary is upstairs. He's braving the cold elements here so far in the first half. You know, it's funny. I had talked with Maddie right before the ball game, and, you know, she and Alex are both University of Dayton students up to our north, and you know, I had just made it to be sure that, hey, when they get out to the job force, you know, they need to come let me know, because we'll put out a good word for them.
Absolutely.
So 1st and 10 out at the 15-yard line with 8:10 left to go in this first half. And do we see Molnar back at quarterback?
We do, yeah.
Twins to the bottom of your screen. See if Molnar runs, and he will. He'll take off on the left side, and he'll be dragged down for a loss.
Molnar keeps it for Mason. He is tackled in the backfield by Breon Ishmael.
Breon Ishmael once again, and this time it's a tackle for a loss. Breon this year coming into the season, or to this ball game, with 34 tackles, including 29 solos. Both are team leading figures.
Well, I'll tell you what, Breon sniffed that thing out from the get-go. I mean, nobody barely touched him getting into the backfield. And, I don't know whether that was a broken play, but Molnar just kind of was fumbling the football in the backfield there. There was no other receiver, so not exactly what you want to have happen if you're Mason.
Molnar will keep again. This time he has more space out to the sideline. Gets good yardage out inside the 10-yard line. You and I had talked about this coming into this ball game, that Molnar is the running threat and Brown is the passing threat, and it's really shown by the averages on production and plays that they run. I believe 38% of their plays are pass plays, but 51% of their production is through the air. So when you see Molnar in the backfield, you're thinking run.
And, from a coaching standpoint, to me, I want to disguise that a little bit better, but, we'll see what he does right here.
Jones in the backfield with Molnar, and Molnar keeps. He has the first down to the goal line. He's in. 6-0 Mason.
Michael Molnar with the Mason touchdown.
A 10-yard touchdown run for Michael Molnar, and Mason goes up first.
Well, right there, I was just saying I'd love them to disguise Molnar a little bit more in the backfield when they put him back there. But my goodness gracious, I guess you don't have to. If he's able to do that, get that type of production for the Comets.
And that caps off an incredibly long drive out there. Looking to see the point after, and good. 94 is Jacob Hernandez. Michael Timmons had been the starter. I believe he had gotten hurt early in the season, and Hernandez has done the good job here so far this season. 7-0. 6:37 left to go, and partner, I'm having to count this up.
I know.
Here.
I was trying to do it then. It's unbelievable.
7.5 minutes off the clock. 76 yards. 12 plays. That drive took 12 plays, 76 yards, capped off by the Molnar 10-yard touchdown run. The point after by Hernandez is good. The brand new score here at the Schwarm is 7-0.
And, that's what you wanted if you're Coach Kastner. You wanted a long, methodical drive and kind of demoralize that Hamilton defense. They got to stop down here earlier in the game.
Something to point out here, this has been the most productive scoring quarter this year for the Comets. 66 points coming into this ball game in the second quarter this season for the young men of Brian Kastner. Caleb Johnson's the deep return man just inside his own 10-yard line. And it'll be taken by one of the up men at the 20, scatting his way to the 30 and not much more. Might have been Givens. It was Givens for a return of 12.
Well, if you're Hamilton and you're Coach Vonderheide and Coach Mahan, right now you want to do exactly what just happened to you. You need that methodical drive down the field. Whatever you can do to get some type of rhythm going offensively. You had success early on, running Gabe Verdon off the edge, getting having Kerry Ware out there blocking. But now, I think that you get back to that. Figure out a way to get the ball on the ground and run the football. And the biggest part about this, you cannot get into these third and long situations because that is what is killing Hamilton. It really kind of has all year long.
1st and 10 from the 32, and the running play by the quarterback. Nets maybe a yard on the play. Wanted to talk a little bit more about Molnar for a second because he just scored. He has scored 4 times through the air as a receiver. After the touchdown we just saw, 8 times on the ground, and has thrown for a touchdown this year. That's a lot of touchdowns in a lot of different ways.
A lot of different ways. And, when you have a dynamic back or running back, quarterback, whatever you want to call it, and like Michael Molnar, you create just such diversity on offense. You can do whatever you really want to do, place him wherever you want to. My only thing when I saw him out there is I want to disguise his running ability a little bit more. I don't want that to be a key the second he goes out there and lines in the backfield at quarterback.
Here's the Wildcat play up the middle. Nice little late surge to get third and short. So Givens again, and we had seen Verdon, who's not quite the running threat, but Givens is obviously a starting wide receiver on this team.
So again, I like getting back to the run with Givens. I like that, getting the ball, on the ground and get that methodical drive going. You got plenty of time left in the half to tie this football game up. And now you're in a third and manageable situation. So that's really what the key is. And I was going to bring back to that. When you're in those type of situations, you got to be better on second down, and that's what they did right there.
8 on the play clock. They're going to have to hurry on this one. 3 on the play clock, and now they'll call for a timeout with 5:02 left to go. It is charged to Hamilton, and it's their first. And a reminder, Eli Sports Bar and Grill proudly sponsors high school football with 3 locations in Mason, Liberty Township, and in Rocks. Our 10-foot screens guarantee a great view from every seat in the house. Eli Sports Bar and Grill, the best place in Cincinnati for sports, food, and fun.
Nobody wants to get injured, but if you do, you trust your care with the sports medicine.
Kev, as we look at this ball game and think about what's coming up. By the way, speaking of what's coming up, at the half, we'll talk with Missy Harvey, the Hamilton Athletic Director. We'll talk a little bit about what else is going on outside of football, though we will talk about the playoffs as we come up and talk about the picture forming involving the Big Blue in the playoff picture. But talking about what else is going on, obviously the big games down the road in Westchester Township, Lakota East at Lakota West, and obviously that's our feature game on Chatterbox tonight. And there are a lot of other interesting scenarios because we do have the ratings, and obviously we'll know a little bit more come Sunday on where playoff placement will be. But right now you would have to think Moeller, then St. X, then West. Though St. X and West might be jockeying for the 2 spot right now.
They might be, and also Moeller goes up tonight and plays one of the top teams in the state of Michigan in Detroit. So again, that could be a very interesting one.
The keeper for a first down and more out to the 50. Givens again.
Elijah Givens keeps it for Hamilton. He is tackled by Krickenberg.
So, right now you got that rhythm going if you're Hamilton. You've got that running game going now. I would continue to run the ball, and now in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, when am I coming with that play action? That play action's coming up. I want to continue to run the football, but that's what we're setting up here.
I believe Gabe Verdon will be back in at quarterback. I thought I saw 3 flashing out there. And he is a bigger-bodied fellow. In fact, you and I had talked a little bit more stock than Elijah Givens. So the give off the right side, and Johnson trying to break one free, picks up 4 on the play. Caleb really hasn't broken free much except outside that first play tonight. Last week, he had 17 carries for 138 yards, and not 1, but not 2, but 3 touchdowns against Sycamore.
Well, he's one of the top running backs really in the city. His production has been there. Unfortunately, the season just hasn't quite gone their way, but he's a Big Ten running back going to Iowa now, and that's huge for this Hamilton program to have a player like that they can kind of galvanize and look up to in these future years.
4-star recruit will play in the Under Armour All-American Bowl. The end around coming for Givens, and he is stopped initially just outside the 40, pushes forth in the arms of Weston Simmons, and he's close to a first down.
Well, one mistake that he made right there is he didn't read his outside blockers. He had that lane to plant his foot and get upfield inside of his blockers, and he just kept running. I think even Coach Mahan Winston was like, dude, you got to get upfield. You got an extra 5-10 yards on that play automatically. So those are the little things, Jeff. It's the little things like that that can determine whether you're in 3rd and short or 1st and 10.
Boy, how fast is this quarter moving?
Woo! Hello.
3:10 left to go till halftime. On 3rd down, KJ struggling to get to the first down. I think he's short.
He is.
They're going to call him short.
Caleb Johnson
He
with
needs
carry. He is tackled by
a
James
football, maybe a football and a half to get the first down.
Well, one thing there, when you have third and short like that, I'm never a fan of going in the shotgun. I'm not going to throw the football backwards 3 yards to go forward a yard. So, right there, I was would have like to see a little bit better play selection on that third and short, but here we go again.
Tight formation, and Mason plays up to the line. We'll see if they call for a timeout. So we do have an official stoppage. No flag on the play. No signal on who called the timeout. You and I are looking at each other bemused.
So they bring Verdon off the field. He's off the field right now. I thought they were trying to draw Mason off sides, which I think they kind of were doing with the hard count. And now he's winding the clock.
By the way, we see 11 into the lineup. Elijah Givens, his propensity to run the Wildcat. I don't know why you don't duck him in under center.
I don't know either.
Maybe that's because of a lack of size, and now we have a timeout charge to Hamilton. So now, partner, we have some time to sort this one out. And while you think about it for a second, I will tell you that Hamilton on fourth down this year is 9 of 18. That's 50%. Now, on the other side, Mason has seen 15 plays defensively. They've given up the first down or more 7 times. That's 46.5%.
So, you have good percentage. These type of situations. Unfortunately, the reason you're in these fourth and short situations is they have lack of production on second and third down. Now, right now, if I'm Hamilton, I'm trying to devise a way that I need to get this first down. This is key for me to get this first down, get points on the board going into halftime and carry the big the momentum into the locker room. So, I agree with you. I'm not going to go in the shotgun. I don't want to throw that football back 3 yards to move forward a foot and a half. So I'm going to get under center and utilize my offensive line up front and simply run a good quarterback sneak.
But they'll still, in this case, as they come out of the timeout, run tight, and they'll run Elijah Givens out of the Wildcat in the shotgun. Nobody behind him. He angles to the left. I don't know. The second effort gets him there. He got past a potential tackler in J.C. Deaton, and he's going to be sick to his stomach.
Wow. I was a little, again, you and I both kind of looked at it like, man, in the shotgun, but I tell you what, he lowered that shoulder, dug his feet in there, and that second effort is what got him that first down. Fresh set of downs now for Hamilton, under 2 minutes.
By the way, we didn't set this up, so we will here. Timeouts remaining in this ball game. Hamilton has 1, Mason has 2. So 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. They motion Johnson, and the keeper by the quarterback into space. Elijah Givens has a first down, and Deaton had to go and get him.
Givens with carry for Hamilton. He is tackled by J.C. Deaton.
We'll take a look at this replay here, and I love this play call. Absolutely love it. You're going to fake on the outside run, and Elijah's going to just keep it. Nobody really even saw that he had the football there up the middle. Fantastic play call by Coach Mahan and Coach Vonderheide.
A pickup of 10. And now we have yet another stoppage. We see Nate Mahan right in front of us. He's a little incredulous.
Oh, I think there's an equipment issue.
The fabled and the all-important equipment issue.
Yep.
To reset on both of these teams, Mason is 2-5 in conference, 3-6 overall. Hamilton is 1-5 in the GMC this year, 2-5 overall. Both are coming in on 2-game losing streaks. It was a loss to Sycamore, their last time out for Hamilton, and it was Princeton that went and got Mason the last week. So I have to say, in looking at the competition and who's playing who, every week you kind of go, oh my gosh, you're going to play who?
Right.
And that was the case last week, especially for Mason when they had to face Princeton. Mm-hmm. Out of the timeout, it's 1st and 10, and it's Caleb Johnson in the Wildcat. He will angle to the left, into space, down the sideline, out close to the 20-yard line. He was forced out by Deaton once more on a pickup of 6.
You got Caleb Johnson in the Wildcat, and I don't know how you're not screaming, run, 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 run. That's what he's going to do. That's why he's back there. Great job, though, by the Hamilton offensive line and Caleb to get a big gain there.
By the way, he wants to put on a show tonight because in attendance tonight is his soon-to-be offensive coordinator, Brian Ferentz, over at Iowa. and his running backs coach in Liddell Betts, who was a really good one 20 years ago. Here's Givens in space, inside the 20, flag on the play, down out to the 16-yard line.
Curious to see what this flag is. There were not a lot of Hamilton defenders around him.
There's a flag on the play.
So I'm not sure if they're going to call hold or a face mask. Looks like it might go against Hamilton, though.
So the flag situated at the 17-yard line, and the way we're seeing the backup for Hamilton, yeah, we are backing it up. It is indeed a hold against the home team.
That was interesting. There were not a lot of guys to that side of the field, but so be it right now. And again, that's kind of what Hamilton's done, unfortunately. You know, they get them in a great situation. They're 2nd and 5, and now they're back into 2nd and 10. Again, it's that kind of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back mentality right now. They just got to get that rhythm going on offense to get in the end zone.
Clock moving, under a minute to play of this first half, and a very fast-moving first half. It's Johnson off the left side, looking for the edge, has it to the 25, to the 20, down the sideline, pushed out of bounds, out inside the 15. They're going to spot him at the 11, 1st and 10 coming up, and back into the Cincinnati Reds red zone we go. Big league moments, big league plays, and legendary vibes. Catch all the actions at reds.com/tickets. Obviously, their season is over, but we can't wait for opening day.
Well, take a look at that replay there, and you just saw what Caleb Johnson's biggest threat is, and his ability, his burst ability. Hit the edge and then get downfield. Hit the edge and get downfield. That's what he's done all year long, and that's why he's going to be a Big Ten running back, because that's what they do in the Big Ten, man.
He scored 3 times a week ago. He's got 12 rushing touchdowns and a timeout charge to Mason with 43 seconds left to go. And partner, the way that we're now starting to see the timeouts filter in to the final couple of minutes, it's almost like watching an NFL game and the folks trying to catch about commercial breaks at this point.
I know,
but
exactly.
kidding aside here, let's strategize here. You know, obviously the focal point is Caleb Johnson. Do you actually throw coming out of the timeout?
You know, my opinion is this. I would love to see a play action pass right here, because you kind of set that up, and I would love to see the play action with Caleb Johnson in the backfield there. So, you know, you get that play action ability, but that's what I'm predicting right now. If I'm calling plays, that's what I'm going to run, especially on 1st down. Now, you got to make sure that the play design, though, is a play that the quarterback's going to get the football to where it needs to go, because the last thing you need right now is a turnover.
We just saw Kastner break the huddle there. If you're Mason, what do you do here?
So if you're Mason right now, you got to keep your eye on Caleb Johnson. But again, you got to have that in the backfield. Hey, they're setting something up here. All right, everybody has to do their job and play their position and play sound defense. I'm not going to blitz here. I want everybody to see the field.
Out of the timeout, twins to each side. Elijah Givens is the wide receiver to the top. And the keep by the quarterback to the goal line. Touchdown! Givens in with the keeper from 11 yards out, 7-6.
Touchdown!
Take a look at the replay here, and I mean, just turns on the Jets to the left side. Great play fake, follows his blocker. He's patient with the way he ran the football and tiptoes right into the end zone for Hamilton. Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Big Blue.
Trying to see who the kicker out there is. It looks like, if I saw 89, that's Taya Pence, who is a bit of a story on her own. And do we have a flag here as well? They're coming backwards. He had Ty Ramey listed as a starting kicker, but Taya Pence has been out there. And it is against
Penalty on
Hamilton. So this one will be a little longer and a little bit more challenging. Out of the hold of Gabe Verdon, Nathan Barker is a snapper. The ball is spotted, as we're looking for this, at the 17-yard line? The 18-yard line.
They're flipping kickers here, looks like.
So Pence will come out, and Zane Taylor will come in. And by the way, how challenging is this for a holder? You have to flip from a right-footed kicker to a left-footed kicker.
Well, you would hope that, I had that same situation at Loveland. You would hope that you practice that just multiple times every single Thursday. Shoot, not even Thursday, throughout the week.
And a timeout charge to Hamilton. So we are trying to extend this first half, apparently, with as many timeouts as we possibly can have. as we await halftime. Speaking of halftime, we'll talk with Hamilton Athletic Director Missy Harvey. One of the things that we will talk about with the athletic director is girls soccer, a big impressive win in the first round of the playoffs against the GMC champion this year.
I mean, that's huge for Hamilton and for everybody around here. That's just fantastic. Their squad is able to perform that way.
By the way, since we do have the time, that last drive, 12 plays, 68 yards. It soaked up 6 minutes off the clock, capped off by the Givens 11-yard scamper, and we're still waiting for the point after attempt 7-6.
Well, I like what Coach Mahan's doing right here. You can't take your timeouts with you. Take a timeout. Let's get everything organized because, hey, right now the way this ball game's going, this point is going to matter a lot.
Waiting on the point after attempt. And up and away and good. A little bit of a delayed call for Zane Taylor. And we are tied up at 7.
Man, I'll tell you what, that was probably the longest span from touchdown to actually extra point I think I've ever seen in my life. But again, it goes back to just how important that was right there. You had the penalty, which backed it up. You had a kicker in there that, oh gosh, I got to reset my kicker. Hang on, let me take a timeout. Let's get this 100% right because it's going to matter. 38 seconds left to go. Now the momentum has shifted over to Hamilton. That's, again, a great series, a very long series, but a good coaching series there by Coach Mahan and his staff. Be patient, take your time, let's get it right.
We're tied at 7, and one of the things that bears mentioning is the ability to go for it on 4th down and convert. And
yes.
That's one of the reasons why Hamilton has tied up this ball game.
Well, and they've done that all year long. I think Coach Mahan would say I'd rather not be in those situations all year long. But when you're able to convert that, you have experience. You know what play calls to play. That just tells me that again, their production on 2nd and 3rd down clearly hasn't been there. But if that's part of your MO, that's your MO offensively. But yeah, I know Coach Mahan and Coach Vondar, they definitely would not like to be in that stack order category.
Ty Ramey to kick from the 40. I believe we did see 85 out there. And a triple safety threat off the 10-yard line for Mason. Low squibber down to the near sideline, picked up at the 18. 20, back to the middle, 30. Out past the 30 and spun around a few more times. I mean, we had a bit of a do-si-do out there. I mean, I think Arthur Murray wanted to know about some of those dance steps out there. Pickup of 18 on the return.
Dude, I got a couple weddings next summer. I could use a couple of those dance moves right there. It'd be interesting to see with one timeout for Mason, 29 seconds left on the clock, the ball at the 34-yard line, at your own 34-yard line. Man, I'm curious to see if they take a couple shots here.
Well, and in talking to Brian Kastner about Larson Brown, he did mention his quarterback is a bit of a gunslinger, and he is back to throw. He throws out to the right, complete, out to the 40, to the 45, down the sideline goes Bryant Violand, who's been a favorite target so far in this first half.
Well, again, that's it. And so that long pass play, what that does right there is now you're on schedule. You have a timeout in your back pocket. You get a couple, 2-3 good running plays right here. You're back into field goal range and take the lead going into halftime.
Pick up of 17 with 22 seconds left to go here in this first half. Mason trying to break the tie here in the late minutes of the second quarter, tied up at 7. It's Kobe Lewis out to the far side and the aforementioned Violand in the slot to the left, twins to the near side. In fact, to the bottom of your screen is Molnar. Looking right at Molnar, instead throws, and it's to the inside receiver Garnett for another catch. And there's a flag on the play here with 16 left to go.
Yeah, but that'll be holding against Mason. Big play there for Hamilton. That was a big play right there to get that, and that'll go all the way back. So, again, right now, if you're Mason, I like the situation that they're in with that timeout in your back pocket, but the clock is not your friend right now, and that penalty really hurt you.
A little bit more about Larson Brown. First year as a starter. One of the things that Coach Kastner wanted is he wants Larson to speak up a little bit more. I mean, obviously as a first-year starter, it's hard to be in that huddle and sometimes speak up. But that's what he's being asked to do late in the season. So he's waiting for the ball. Motion on the line, and they're going to stop the play. Flag on the field. So motion down low.
And, again, I kind of go back to this has been kind of Hamilton all year long. 2 steps forward, they get the big play, it's going back, and now it's coming. You give up a few yards with the penalty there.
Devon Mick was across the line, I got to tell you, in a hurry to get to the quarterback. First down from the 41-yard line, and the little handoff to Sailors. Up the gut, across the 50, on his feet, inside the 40, and he picks up the first down with 8 seconds left to go and a timeout. A pickup of 20. Mercy.
Go back and take a look at the replay here, and this is what this is exactly what you wanted to have happen if you're Mason. Big gainer, big play for them. It looks like Coach Kastner took his final timeout and was trying to set up that the field goal. It's going to be a long field goal here, though, if they go for it.
Well, I would imagine you're going to the end zone, right? Because the ball's inside the 40-yard line out at the 39. That would be a 56-yarder. I don't know if there's anybody in the state that has a 56-yard leg.
I mean, unless they got a secret weapon they've been keeping from us all year long for the past 10 weeks.
Well, I'm going to mention a name, and this is in regards to Lakota West. They had a kicker a year ago named Matthew Howard. And Howard kicked a 51-yarder over at West against Cole Rain in one of the playoff games. And that one was 20 feet above the crossbar at the bottom. So you knew he had a little bit more distance to go on top of that. So that's the only leg I can think of right now that would have a shot at 56.
Now we saw, I want to say it was the Princeton Lakota West game, we saw a 44-yarder there right at the end of the half, if you remember. I think it was by Princeton. That's the longest one I think I've seen out of any game so far this year. Yeah, they had the injury there at the very end of right before the half. About a minute left to go. They kicked the 44-yard field goal.
Princeton?
It was either Princeton, Lakota, or one of the times we were over Lakota West recently.
Well, it wouldn't be the Lakota West Princeton game, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. But 8 seconds left to go out of the timeout. It's Brown in the shotgun. With time, he'll throw to the far side, and it's complete, and that's going to wrap things up. Yeah. Here in this fourth quarter. I don't know why you don't go downtown on that final play.
I would have. I mean, especially coming out of the timeout like that, I definitely would have taken a shot. Just say, hey, listen, either we catch it or nobody catches the football. I would have definitely taken a shot there, but nonetheless, tie ball game going into half.
And we are tied at 7 apiece here at the Schwarm tonight on senior night here in Hamilton. On the other side of the timeout, we'll chat with Hamilton's athletic director, Missy Harvey. And we'll bring you the halftime show when we return here on Chatterbox Plus. 7 apiece between Hamilton and Mason here on senior night at the Schwarm, along with Kevin Zilch, Uncle Kev. I'm Geoff Kim. And by the way, as a quick aside, and for those of you who weren't with us over for Kings and Turpin a week ago, Kevin became an uncle for the first time in the last week. So Uncle Kev has been coming out of my mouth on an every conversation basis now.
Well, I told my brother, I said, look, baby Arch already did his first good deed. I'm no longer a rookie. I'm now the Uncle Kev. So I'm like, he's already done his first good deed in his first week of life. I said, there it is right there. He got me out of it. No, Mom and Dad doing great. It has been photo dump week all week long. I think every single day I get 4 or 5 photos just sent to me, and he's a beautiful baby boy. Mom and Dad doing great out in Seattle. Cannot wait to go visit them over Thanksgiving. But, yeah.
Before we do a recap on the first half and look at some of the other scores, our crew here tonight, we want to give them proper thanks. Alex McClary and Maddie Moores are our videographers tonight. Art Funk and Zach Teeters are producing us here this evening. It is a full house. I'm trying my best. I'm doing my best to make sure that everybody stays light and laughs at things I say. So I am trying to say as outrageous of things as much as possible here tonight.
Well, I think you're doing a good job of it so far.
The fact that I'm busting you up is good news.
Exactly.
We were looking at scores here at the half, and there are a couple surprises that you saw.
So, yeah, there are a couple of them. Right now, Lakota West up 10-0 over Lakota East. Again, it looks like the Firebirds are poised for another GMC championship. However, we all know Lakota East is a tough team. That is a tough team. When they run that inside veer and that triple option offense can be tough to defend. But so far, Lakota West's defense seems to be coming up big for them so far. Obviously, Elder right now all over LaSalle, up 21-0. Interesting one, and this is one that a lot of people are not paying attention to because it's out of state. Moeller and Detroit Martin Luther King tied at 7. Detroit Martin Luther King is the number 2 ranked team in all of the state of Michigan right now. So that is a very, very good team. It's not like they're walking up there and it's a cakewalk of a game. That is a tough game for Moeller, which could impact the rankings going forward for the playoffs coming up. And then the other one that we had, Baden 28, McNick 7 at the half. That was a clash of titans right there. McNick running through their season 8-0. I think Baden coming in 9-0. Baden, we were just talking about, seems to be kind of poised a little bit.
Well, Landon Viderick and I was going to say Lucas Moore, who is a great baseball player. I think I'm trying to remember some of the other luminaries on that Baden team. Reed Mouse would be embarrassed for me at this point, the Baden grad, but they're on a roll right now. I don't know if they're a team of destiny, but you look at some of the teams around here, especially the ones that we cover, Lakota West in particular, and same with Baden, same with Kings, who you and I saw last week. And what a great effort that they put out a week ago against Turpin. And then Wyoming in Division 4. I think those are the teams right now at the top of mind that may have a chance at destiny.
Absolutely. We were just talking literally right before we came on about Kings and Little Miami. It was 14-10. I looked at it, and you both looked at each other like, oh, that's a odd score. And Kings just scored again. It's 21-14 going into the half now.
That figures
a little bit. But again, we saw Kings last week. They started off slow. I attributed to it being senior night, just the emotions. The games got started earlier. Everybody was kind of in go mode. So, that'll be interesting to see, can that Kings offense dominate in the first half like they had all year long? They haven't shown that here in the past 2 games.
You got about 40 seconds before the start of the second half. How are your keys to the game borne out?
Well, right now for Mason, we got to see how they fare in this second half. We got to make sure. One of the Coach Kastner's big keys for tonight was finish. And so far right now, they're on track to do that. But again, it all comes down to the fourth quarter for Mason. I mean, it has been all year long. And then, right now for Hamilton, they need to stop getting in those third and long situations. If they can shore that like they did right before the half there, they're going to be in good situations. They can convert on those third and medium, third and short, or even fourth and short, as we've seen all year long. It's when they get into those third and 15s that they have nowhere to go. So if they do that, they're going to be good.
Second half is underway. Quentin Kaler jumps on the ball just past the 30-yard line out of the 33, and that's where they'll start 1st and 10. 7 apiece. Molnar on a 10-yard touchdown run to get the scoring started with 6:37 left to go in the first half, and then with 38 seconds left to go in the first half, it was a Givens 11-yard scamper to the left end, and the extra points on both sides were good. We're tied at 7. Week 10 here in the GMC here on Chatterbox Plus. Glad to have you along for the ride on senior night at the Schwarm. And the give to the tailback, Nick Sailors, who we had not talked much about, still pushing the pile out to the 40. This looks like an old-fashioned rugby scrum as he pushed the pile a good 5 yards more to bring up 2nd and short.
Well, what those type of plays do, I was just actually looking at the Mason sideline, and they got excited for that. That's what those type of plays does. And Sailors, he's done that, year in, year out. He's been able to get in there and truck his feet, and that's all you got to do there is get low and move your feet. One point I want to make is I stepped outside of the press box at halftime. We do have a light mist falling right now. It's kind of hard to see out there, but you got to be outside the field. So ball control will become much more important as this game goes on.
Down and distance, 2nd and 2. And the pitch back, and it goes to Garnett. He has the first down.
I'll tell you what, he ran a country mile for that first down. He ran from basically one hash mark all the way over to the other sideline to get that first down. That's attributed to Hamilton's poise on defense there to flow with the football. Unfortunately, they didn't collapse on the ball. It's one thing to flow, but then you have to collapse down on that ball to stop that running back from gaining yardage. But good job by Mason there. This is what they started off, get that first down of the second half and keep that ball rolling.
And how many times have we called Breon Ishmael's name in this ball game? That was another tackle for Breon. First down as we move the chains out of the 44-yard line, and the quarterback keeping it's Molnar into space across the 50, still keeping his feet out to the far side. To the 30 to the 25 he goes.
Fantastic run there by Mason. That's exactly what they needed. Here now, get that momentum back on their side, going into for a touchdown right here.
1st and 10 at the 24. Molnar's out of the pistol. Sailors angles to the right, cannot get away. Is that Breon again?
I think
Breon has been, I don't know, I don't want to call him the water boy. I mean, his season high in tackles is 8, but he is the leading tackler on this team.
Well, one thing you notice is he's just all over the field, Jeff. From left to right, doesn't matter where he is, where he's positioned. He is always in on those plays, and that's what you want out of your linebackers is to have that vision and to fly around all left, right, up, down.
Pickup of 2 for Sailors. And again, they go twins to the bottom of your screen as you see a focus in on Molnar. Waiting for the ball out of the gun, he'll keep. And a flag on the play. I believe I saw a marker out as he gains a couple out to the sideline.
Either marker or beanbag, one of the two. One thing if I'm Hamilton, if they're going to keep, Molnar in the backfield, what I'm going to start doing is start putting really kind of a spy on him. Every time he's in the backfield there, they're running the ball with him in some way, shape, or form. So that's personally what I would do if I'm Hamilton. That would be my adjustment.
So we've seen a quarterback carousel tonight. It's been Molnar and it's been the normal starter Larson Brown for Mason. On the other side, we've seen Gabe Verdon, but we've also seen Elijah.
5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
And for the first time tonight, it's nice to hear like a voice from the heavens.
I know.
There. Brian Kresh, tonight's referee, calling it out on the penalty against Hamilton.
I wish you would have seen our faces. It's like, wait, what? Is that a referee's voice? Oh, my gosh, we don't have to guess what this is? We haven't heard that in a couple weeks.
Second, and we'll call it 13. And it's Brown throwing the home run for Garnett. Touchdown! He went deep middle for 27, 13-7 Mason.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's exactly what Mason needed right there. Wide open down the field, Saeed Garnett, and we've called his name quite a lot. And I'll tell you what, the speed that he has, able to get down the field, just blew right by the cornerback and the safety for Hamilton. I mean, great pass, great route, another touchdown on the board for the Comets.
Jacob Hernandez on for the point after attempt. Out of the hold of Zach Rogers, Weston Simmons is the snapper. Good snap. The kick is away and through. 14-7 with 9:01 left to go. Here in this third period, that drive took 6 plays for 67 yards. That took just about 3 minutes, 250 off the board. Capped off on the connection from Brown to Garnett. For Brown, that is touchdown number 15 through the air. And then for Garnett, that I believe is his first. We're looking for his stats here.
Yeah.
That is his first receiving touchdown of the year.
Wow, and I'll tell you what an impressive one. The way he was able to run by the defense for Hamilton. And, I mean, if you're Hamilton right now, my goodness, that's not what you needed to have happen. That was too easy for Mason, to come right out of the half, march it right down the throat of the Hamilton defense. Coach Casser's, now he's got to, Coach Mahan's got to be thinking, oh man, I got to get some points on the board now. We got to get this offense going. Where you were hoping that the defense could come in there, get a big stop, you get the ball back with great field position. Not the case with the Big Blue. Now they got to play catch up and they're off schedule.
Ryan Ruminski will kick things away from the 40. The deep man is Caleb Johnson inside his own 10 back to the 7-yard line. And here we go. Hamilton will get the first crack on offense. Lets the ball go through to the 10 to Johnson. Angles to the left, 20, 25, and falls forward out to the 30-yard line, where he is dropped by, well, I thought I saw 5, and that's Larson Brown. It's 6, Zach Rogers.
So right now, if you're Hamilton, you just gave up a touchdown there. I'm coming out of a half right here, and I'm trying to get the ball again into Caleb Johnson's hands. I'm going to try and establish that running game here in the second half, just like we ended it, to open up those play-action passes for Breon Ishmael and Gabe Verdon. So that's going to be my tactic going here in the second half.
1st and 10 from the 29. They motion Johnson off the wing, and he angles to the right. In space, has a first down across the 40-yard line. And much like his first carry of the first half, that's what we saw here to start things off in half number 2.
Take a look at the replay right now. And, again, this is exactly what you'll see. Caleb Johnson's speed and the way he's able to explode off the edge is just so incredibly potent. And that's exactly what it was right there. Plant his foot, get downfield, big first down for the Big Blue.
Breon Ishmael is the wide receiver closest to us at the bottom of your screen.
Well, if you look at the matchup right there between him and his defender, I'll tell you what, that's what I'm pointing out right now if I'm in the press box.
J.C. Deaton is 5'11", 165. Breon Ishmael is 6'4", 200. Jump ball?
Yeah, that's what I'd be going right now.
Twins on each side. And the keeper by the quarterback, Elijah Givens, for a few yards. Push back, and we haven't really talked about the linebacking core tonight, and I believe that's the first time I'm really looking at Caden Evans down there in the middle.
And this linebacking core between Caden Evans and Jake Bates, 1-2 in tackles in the league so far this year. Those linebackers are, they do a great job seeing the entire field and then reacting quickly. That's what linebacking is all about. See and then react. They're the 2 best in the league at that right now.
Evans leading the league in tackles, 81. Jake Bates second with 80. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about a 1-2 combination. Woo. That literally is the best description. Tight formation. And the focal point is Johnson, who gets the ball, flag on the play, and they string him out. Good job there, and J.C. Deaton, all 165 pounds of him, knocks him out of bounds. But we'll have to see what the flag is.
Yeah, remember, we got a microphone down there on him now. Maybe.
Well, the funny thing about high school officials is sometimes they simply forget.
I think they simply did. I think he forgot he had a microphone on that one there. But nonetheless, again, this has been Hamilton's problem, though, Jeff. You had a second and medium, second and long situation there, and now look at it. It's second and a mile. This is a hard to gain back. There's not a lot on your play sheet for these type of situations.
They need the 49 of Mason for the line to gain. 2nd and 18. And the quarterback keeping with big space up the middle, down the sideline. Elijah Givens, does he have reservations for 6? No, inside the 20, and a big-time gain. Mercy.
Well, what they did right there, we'll go take a look at it on the replay right here. And this is what I love. I think this is what they were trying to set up pretty much the entire game. You fake the Caleb Johnson, and then you have Elijah Givens on the keeper. And the way he just bursts down the sideline, smart play, not trying to do too much with it, force a fumble or anything, get out of bounds, stop the clock, and now you set up a great goal line execution play for the Big Blue.
Pickup of 48. We're back inside the Cincinnati Reds Red Zone. For real-time news and exclusive content, follow the Reds on social. You can find them on Twitter @Reds. 7:13 to go in this third period. And it's Johnson off the left side, down the sideline, 10, 5, inside the 10 to the 5. Is he in? He's in, touchdown! From 19 yards out, KJ scores for the first time tonight, and Hamilton's a point after away from tying it up.
Wow. What a run there. Unbelievable. Take a look at the replay. Plants his foot, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2, breaks 3 tackles, and then dives from the pylon. KJ, my goodness. I think there's some guys watching here from Iowa tonight. I mean, putting on a show for him right now.
And you know Caleb wants to put on a show for them here as well. Taya Pence will get to kick. She had been the star of the soccer game on Monday. She had held Lakota East in check, sent them into overtime, and they were able to win on kicks. And it's no good. Angled to the left, and Hamilton cannot tie this ball game up. It's 14-13. Drive went 4 plays, 71 yards. The big one on that play, the big play of that one, Givens for 48 yards on the keeper himself. And it soaked up 1 minute and 49 seconds. Johnson the touchdown, and that's his 13th on the ground this year. 7:06 left to go here in this third period, 14-13. Partner, I would hate to see this one come down to a missed extra point.
That's why it's so important. I think that's why you saw, Coach Mahan earlier in the first half take so much time with his extra points, because you got to make sure that you get those in a tight football game like this. These teams are very evenly matched talent-wise, and really what they've done all year long. This is going to be a game that will come down to the fourth quarter, and it has all year long for Mason. And right now, Hamilton really hasn't been in this type of position since really week one to be in a fourth quarter situation where they can actually win the football game. So again, every single point from here on out is just vitally important.
Well, this has been the best quarter this year defensively for Mason, but they've given up a touchdown here in the third. Point after's no good. And this one gets past Jones, out to the 8. He picks it up. He'll have to dive on it. He had nowhere to go. Trying to see who got him. It looked like Eli Little was out there along with 19. I didn't see a 19 here up on the board here, but Eli Little was the guy I saw. And it's 1st and 10 from the 9 coming up in the worst starting position tonight for the Mason Comets.
So if you're Hamilton now, you got to take advantage of this. Take advantage of that mistake that just happened right there. You got him pinned back here. This is going to be a big. Force a 3-and-out and get that ball back in good field position.
And we'll have to see if it's Molnar or Brown at quarterback. Brown ducks in under center. And we haven't seen this tonight, or I don't recall seeing this. And the gift of the tailback, and nowhere to go, a loss on the play.
Mikey Jones is your ball carrier.
So
Jones with the tackle for Big Blue.
Jones got stopped for a loss on the play to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, that's exactly what you need right there. Hamilton snuffed that whole thing out. If I'm Mason here, I'm going to try and honestly kind of spread that defense out a little bit. Give me some lanes and some room to run. I'm going to spread out my splits and get myself wide. They got a lot of guys in the box right now for Hamilton.
Twins to the bottom. It's Jones and Molnar. And a long stretch give. It's Jones, and off the left side. This time he gains positive yards. Mikey Jones.
Jones with the carry for Mason.
Well, this will be a big third down for Hamilton. If they can get the stop here, Jeff, and get that ball back with the way that they're running the football with KJ, I'll tell you what, this is going to be big for him. If you're Mason right now, I'm designing a play. My play is going to have all my routes go to that first down marker. I want to get that first down, get myself in position to get the first down here.
Twins to the bottom of your screen, a single to the top. And you would imagine Larson Brown will throw on third down. He will. He launches. He throws. Complete. Out to the 21-yard line. Is that Molnar?
Brown's pass is complete to Molnar.
It is. So move the chains. 1st and 10 for Mason.
Well, that's exactly what I told them. Exactly what I told them to do. They ran a nice little hitch route. You got to the sticks, or when a yard past the sticks, came back and caught the football. That's exactly what you want to do in that situation. I call it playing small ball. Don't need to go deep. Just get the first down and chunk away yardage.
Again, Twins to the bottom, and Brown will throw, and again, he'll throw to Molnar. Again, out of bounds. So a nice little pickup on first down, a pickup of 7. I want to talk about Michael for a minute. So the last time I really saw him, well, actually I might have seen him during baseball season, but I can't recall. I can tell you that I'd seen him prominently during basketball season, where he's a forward on the Comet squad, and he had a notable playoff win. He had a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds, and he had the game, what turned out to be the all-important insurance layup with 2 seconds left to go, turned a 2-point game into a 4-point game. and Mason seal the win against Walnut Hills. And it's a running play. I believe it's Jones here for a couple. Beg your pardon, it's Sailors. Nick Sailors, who's a starter on this team, but we've seen a lot of Jones here in relief tonight.
You know, one thing I'm noticing kind of coming into this second half, I don't know what Hamilton has changed up front, but they seem to be getting a lot more pressure up front. They're getting into the backfield a lot more than what they were in the first half. That's something to keep an eye on here as we get down into the, under 5 minutes here in the third quarter. That type of pressure and penetration, that's going to be huge coming down here if they're able to get out of halftime and do that.
And look at this. We got a full house in the backfield. On 3rd and 1, the pitch back. Sailors has the first down. Needed 1, got 3 more.
Well, that play design and that offensive formation, what you did there is you brought everybody to the party. You had probably 10 guys within 4 yards of the football, and then you pitch it outside. Guess where nobody is? On the outside edge. And so that's why you ran that play. Great formation design by Coach Kastner and his offensive staff.
By the way, why don't we see more of the full house?
It's one of those things where you're bringing a lot of guys to the party. You're bringing a lot of defenders right into the box. And so in today's game, you want to spread that out. At least that's the way I've always done it. I always have the full house package in my repertoire, though.
Brown wants the home run down the near side for Jones. Out at the 35. Did he come up with it? He sure did. Mercy, what a catch.
Brown's pass is complete to Kobe Lewis.
Ooh. Well, Cody Lewis, great play, great reception there. Great job. What he kind of had to do there was play center field a little bit, find that football, was able to make the right adjustment. DB turned one way, he went the other way. Great catch for Mason.
Kobe Lewis at 6 foot tall, 190 pounds. A senior picks up 37 on the razzle-dazzle, 1st and 10 from the 30. Molnar at the bottom of their screen, and now the pitch play. It goes to Mikey Jones. Has some room, looks for the cutback, and gains 5 on the play. So a good job on first down for the Mason Comets in response. And a good job there. Trey Verdon was at the bottom of the pile for Hamilton.
Well, right now Hamilton's got to settle down their defense. He gave up the big play. Now to settle down. Again, I go back. They're getting good penetration there. If they can continue that, that's what they'll have to do. But for Mason right now, spread it out and get the ball in the hands of the playmakers.
Something about the pitch play, and we'll get to that here after this play. 2nd and 5. So Mason on schedule with 3:04 left to go here in this third. It's Jones up the middle, pushing. He's close to a first down. He's going to be short. So we saw earlier in the sequence a pitch left on the full house, and then we saw on the last run play before this one a pitch right. Whatever it is, they're seeing an advantage out on the edge.
They're taking advantage of those edges, and whether they see something there or not, that's right now is where it's hitting for them. Now what I love there is they actually ran that pitch play into the boundary. So what you do there is you're forcing your running back to plant his foot and get upfield. We see that all the time when we have a running back that would just want to stretch plays. Okay, well, hey, we're going to put it in the boundary. You're going to force yourself to get up there. That's exactly what Mason did right there.
It's Lewis and Saeed Garnett in a slot to the left. Molnar's the lone receiver to the right. We'll see if they throw on 3rd down. They won't get a shot.
I think he's signaling encroachment.
3rd and 1 with 2:16 left to go. Well, we did hear offsides. That much we know.
Oh, he had it right one time. He had the microphone and everything right one time.
And I have to say, I applaud the sound system here at Hamilton. That came out as clear as a bell, and we're back in the Cincinnati Reds red zone. It's Brown out of the gun. He wants to throw. He looks for the home run down the sideline. Complete for a touchdown.
Larson Brown's pass is complete to Kobe Lewis.
Lewis on the receiving end. He got the big bomb to set them up, and he gets one from 16 yards out. 20-13.
I'll tell you what, that pass play there by Larson Brown, look at the placement of this ball. There's only one person who's going to be able to catch that ball, and that's Lewis for Mason. And that's great ball placement by the quarterback there that, hey, either we're going to catch the ball or nobody's catching the ball. Fantastic play for the Comets.
Waiting on the point after from Jacob Hernandez. The kick is away and an important one. And through. 21-13 is the brand new score with 1:52 left to go here in this third. And all of a sudden the tide has really changed.
Well, it keeps going back and forth right now between the teams. And, now we got a couple flags actually thrown there late on that. Not sure if whether somebody was saying something to somebody or whatnot, but we'll have to sort that out. But you're right, Jeff. This has been going kind of back and forth. Interested to see how this plays on down throughout the rest of this quarter into the fourth. I'm really hoping, like you said earlier, that it doesn't come down to that missed extra point, because right now that's a huge key, especially if Hamilton scores again.
Waiting to sort out the flag. Offsetting. Waiting to see if tonight's referee, Brian Kresk, will turn on the mic to tell us about it. It doesn't appear that he will, so we'll tell you this, that the scoring drive, 10 plays, 91 yards, 5 minutes, 8 seconds off the clock. The touchdown from Larson Brown, his second of the night, his 16th of the year. It goes to Lewis. Kobe Lewis gets his fourth touchdown receiving this year. The point after is good, and the brand new score is 21-13.
I just keep going back to that pass by Larson Brown on the touchdown. I mean, his ball placement there was just immaculate. It's really hard to coach that in a kid. That's just natural instinct of ball placement. So, again, this is going to be really interesting here. This final quarter, I'm really anxious to see how this all pans out. We got a good one here at the Schwarm.
Ryan Rominski will kick it. And we'll see if this one goes all the way back to Johnson at the 15. It does. Out to the side. Nearly broke a tackle, and a great job down there. I think Weston Simmons was the first man to get in his way, and Jim Frimpong, it looked like, came up with a stop.
A great job by the kickoff team there for Mason, getting down, making a big stop. Right now, if you're Mason, you got to be able to stop Caleb Johnson. That has got to be your key for this drive right now, is you stop him. He has been the momentum driver for this Hamilton Blue night all night long. That's the key right here for this drive.
We don't have stats from halftime as we look for the give to Johnson off the right edge in to the linebacking core, across the 30, down to the 31-yard line, a pickup of 6. So we don't have halftime stats, but my guess is that he's not quite at 95 yards, therefore he's not quite at the millennium mark to get to the 1,000-yard mark, but he's closing in.
Yeah, I would say he's very, very close, and I would predict, if the way this game is going, that he'll get over that mark. Interesting play there, though. That was the play we actually saw Elijah Givens handed off to Caleb Johnson before we saw him keep that. So I kind of like that mixed match there, what they're doing on the keeping with Elijah Givens and then handing it off to Caleb Johnson. That dynamic backfield going to come up big here for the Big Blue.
It's for Don, a little play action. Now home run down the middle, incomplete, out at midfield, intended for Ishmael. And it might have been tapped away from him by Sean Crookerberg.
From my angle here, it looked like he had two hands on the ball and maybe should have kept that. Now, I don't know whether it was tipped or not. That would obviously, affect that. But good job by Verdon. Again, another quarterback in there, took a lick on that play, was able to get the ball off. Kind of a sketchy throw there, though. You don't want to turn the ball over right now if you're Hamilton. That would be the worst thing to do right here.
57 seconds left to go here in this fast-moving ball game in the third. 21-13 Mason. And the quarterback keeping Elijah Givens, closing in on a first down, may have it. As he rolled into a scrum, the first one to meet him there was Zach Rogers.
Well, I'm loving what Hamilton's doing right now. We've seen it so far twice now, where they're faking it to Caleb Johnson or handing it off, but they're running sort of that option mesh play there with the two. Those have been their two biggest producers of yards so far tonight. So you get those two mixed up. They even kind of had the Mason defense confused on that last play there. I know they did me. So you keep that rolling. Might be the key for the Big Blue to get those points on the board.
Under 30 seconds to play in this third quarter. This may be the final play of the quarter. And it's Johnson off the sideline, and he'll roll out of bounds, and we'll get yet another play on a pickup of maybe 2.
So, that time there they had no play fake, ran to Caleb Johnson, who was snuffed out almost immediately. So that's why I think that fake, the play action between Givens and Johnson in the backfield for Hamilton, they need to keep that up because right now the defense, you're going to force them to play home, and we go into the quarter now.
Well, we are end of 3 here in this one here at the Schwarm. 12 more minutes left to go here in Week 10. 21-13 here at the Schwarm. Back with the fourth here on Chatterbox Plus. 12 more minutes left to go here from the Schwarm, 21-13, along with Uncle Kev, Kevin Zilch. I'm Geoff Kim. Thanks for joining us for senior night at the Schwarm on Chatterbox Plus. So we switch sides of the field, and Hamilton, the home team, will attack the west end. They motion Johnson, and now with the quarterback keeping, Elijah Givens for maybe a yard on the play, as he was taken down by Will Ott.
So again, even there, you still kind of see Hamilton trying to force that fake and force that misdirection between Caleb Johnson and Elijah Givens, which is exactly what I would continue to keep doing, because what you do is you're going to force Mason to play at-home defense, meaning they're not going to be able to blitz. You take the blitz out of it, really, because they're going to stay at home because they don't know where the ball's going. They don't know. You got two big playmakers back there and use them to the best of their ability right now. So far, Coach Vonderheid's been doing that, but again, 3rd and long again for the Hamilton Big Blue, which have been in all night long.
Runner pass.
Oh, I think I would – well, they're going 5 wide here, but I would probably run the ball.
And the quarterback keeping, and he's got space in that first down. Elijah Givens down the sideline, and he's out of bounds. Out at the 38-yard line. He was that close away from getting 6 more.
I'm not even sure if he was out. We'll take a peek here at the replay. My goodness, but exactly what I wanted them to do. They had that mesh play again. Streaks down the sideline. Ooh, maybe stepped out there. Maybe he did.
Pickup of 22, but more importantly for Hamilton, they move the chains. With 11:06 left to go here on senior night, and we are playing this one close to the vest. Partner, you and I have been bereft. I mean, literally bereft of close games this year.
Yeah, we have been. I mean, this is what, I think only the second one we've had go down to the fourth quarter where it hasn't been a running clock. Second or third.
Here's Caleb Johnson on first down, right up the middle. Right behind Taylor Camden and Preston Ratliff.
Well, with how well they're running the football between Elijah Givens and what they're doing in the backfield between Elijah Givens and Caleb Johnson, man, I just gotta think they're setting up that play action at some point here. We've seen Hamilton throw the ball. We know that they can do it. They're a primary, this kind of running team, but I just gotta believe that's coming down the pipe at some point in time.
Well, I think the hard part about this is where you position Elijah Givens, who's now moving in a slot to the left. Johnson's out of the lineup, and Gabe Verdon's at quarterback. Deep drop with time. He wants the home run down the sideline. It is incomplete. Momentarily in the hands of Zach Rogers, the defensive back. Intended for Ishmael, 6-on-6 damage, and 6 came up for Mason.
Yes. I mean, unfortunately, that was just a poor pass. In that type of situation when you're going down, especially in the corner of the end zone, I've said it before and I'll say it again, either we catch the ball or nobody catches the football. So you want to lead your receiver to the sideline to the corner of the end zone, and that just didn't happen there. Lucky for Hamilton to get the ball back.
We see Caleb Johnson in a slot to the right. We'll see if they motion him and get a running play here on 3rd and 5. It's Verdon on a bit of a surprise. Up the middle off the right side for a first down.
And I'll tell you what, that is just I'm loving this drive and what they're calling right now for the Hamilton offense, because you just don't know quite what's coming. They've got great misdirection in the backfield between Caleb Johnson and Elijah Givens, and now Gabe Verdon running the football. I mean, you kind of got a trio now that they have to pay attention to back there, and that could be huge going down in the waning minutes of this game.
Gabe can do it all. He's a linebacker. He's a quarterback. He's a holder on special teams. He's already been offered by Purdue University, just a junior. First and 10 at the 27-yard line with 9:37 to go. And Elijah Givens on a bit of a jet sweep. Nearly broke through out at the 25-yard line, right in and out of the scrum.
Now hands it off to Elijah Givens.
So we're seeing a lot of horizontal plays, sideline to sideline here, especially in this sequence.
A lot of sideline to sideline. They're trying to capture that edge and see and get what that does. And they've had success early on in this drive with that. But right now, I think they're where they're best at right now is up the middle. You had Gabe Verdon there with the big run up the middle. So I think that's where I'm going to attack. But right now, I think they're trying to figure out where is Mason going to be the weakest right now.
They empty out the backfield. Well, they give Givens again, and the ball is loose. It's out. Out at the 33-yard line. They'll stay up front.
Wow.
Verdon was very, very lucky. He had Will Ott in his grill and Bryce Falk as well, and he was able to recover.
Yeah, just a really broken play from the get-go up front with the blocking. And again, this just sets up that 3rd and long situation, which, Hamilton's been in kind of all night long. So right now, this is 4 down territory. Gain half of this back. That's my goal right here with this play. Get me half the yardage to the down marker.
This is the 12th play of the drive, 3rd and 16. Here's the throw. It's complete. Breon Ishmael has a first down out to the 13-yard line, a pickup of 20.
Tell you what, that's what you needed right there. Great pass by Gabe Verdon. He finally found it out, figured it out. Pass across the middle, got his shoulder down, drove the ball down and in, didn't loft it up, put it right in his receiver's breadbasket. Big pickup for the Big Blue.
First and 10 out at the 13-yard line, and again, back into the Cincinnati Reds red zone. For breaking news and behind-the-scenes content, follow the Reds on social. You can find them on Twitter @Reds. 7:43 left to go here in this fourth quarter. We've got an official stoppage, a little equipment issue out on the near sideline. Breon Ishmael had his jersey pulled up from the backside. A little chilly to have bare skin in this air. Twins to the near side, 1st and 10. We'll see if Verdon will throw. No, he'll keep. Up the middle, inside the 10, and pushing the pile out to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, I'm just, again, Hamilton's they're literally throwing out all the stops right now on this drive. We've seen 2 different quarterbacks. They're doing a lot of misdirection. This is really the most diverse I've seen this Hamilton offense be all year long. Granted, this is the 3rd time we've seen them this season. But again, I love what the misdirection and everything that Coach Vonderheide and Coach Mahan are doing right now in the offense. Hopefully they can get in the end zone now. That's the end goal.
2nd and 5 to go in a tight formation. The give to KJ off the right side to the sideline, down to the 5-yard line, where he is pushed out by Weston Simmons.
It looks like, I'm trying to see if they got that first down or not.
No indication as of yet.
3rd and 2. It's a weird angle. We're kind of at a weird angle there.
Well, from the looks of it, the first down marker is just inside the 4-yard line, so they don't need much. I mean, if it's 2 yards, it's a short 2.
Very 2. Yeah, very, very short.
6:38 frozen on the clock. We'll see if Johnson can punch it in for his 2nd tonight. It's Verdon. They'll motion. No, the quarterback keeping. He is locked up out at the 5-yard line, pushing forward, might have gotten a yard on that, and we've got a very interesting 4th down coming up.
Yeah, this would be huge right here for Hamilton. 4th, and it's going to be 4th and about, oh man, it looks like 4th and about 1. I'm not even sure if he picked up, I think he picked up about 1 on that play. So I'd be curious to see, do they go misdirection in the backfield here, or is it that play action time right now? In my opinion, if it's 4th down, I'm giving it to the big guy. Give it to Caleb Johnson in the backfield with some misdirection back there. But, yeah, that's where I'm going with it. Caleb Johnson all the way here on 4th and short.
You see Kerry Ware in a slot to the left. Inside of Donovan Smiley in a tight formation. 4th down. Elijah Givens to the right, cuts back, should have the first down short of the goal line. First and goal coming up.
Elijah Givens keeps it for Hamilton.
Well, right there, that's great coaching point here. Elijah Givens, look, if you look and see, he has great patience on that play. He didn't try to rush up in there. He figured out where the hole was and stuck his shoulder, lowered his shoulder in there, and got the first down for Hamilton. That's huge.
Hamilton has held the ball for 8 minutes.
And right now, look, you know, we're about to be under 5.5 minutes left to go in the game. You know, tick, 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 tick. Keep that Mason offense on the sideline.
First and goal from the 2. The give, Johnson to the goal line. He goes. No signal. He is short for second down coming up. A gain of 1. And play number 18 coming up.
Woo-wee. I'm trying to remember, Jeff. This is an 18-play drive. I don't think we've seen one all year long. I mean, this has got to be one of the longest drives we've seen. I mean, it has to be.
The longest drive I've seen in person in high school football the last few years, well, we'll wait for the play because this may end up being it.
This might be big.
This is play number 18 on second and goal. And we've got a stoppage. Somebody wants to talk about it.
Of course.
4:58, and now a flag has come out. I'm looking towards the sideline. Not seeing much of a reaction on either side.
Well, Coach Mahan doesn't seem to know what it is.
So as we await here, and a little conference as Hamilton's pulling their team towards the sideline, the longest drive I had seen in the last few years was an 18-play drive. It was Lakota West at Fairfield last year. That drive was stalled at the 1. Lakota West had gone in towards the end of the half, stalled at the 1.
Oh, my goodness.
So 18 plays and nothing. Not a field goal, no touchdown.
Well, let's see if we can't get something out of this one here.
Second and goal. Elijah Givens and the keeper for Givens inside the 5, dragging a man to the goal line. He is short, out at the 1.
Givens keeps it for Hamilton.
Well, right there again, we saw the misdirection in the backfield again. They keep coming back to it, and why not? They're having success with it. And I think what it is, Mason doesn't know who to defend right now. They have 2 big athletes in the backfield. You know, Caleb Johnson, Elijah Givens. And, you know, the misdirection with those 2 alone has really stopped this Mason defense in its tracks in 19 plays. They haven't been able to figure it out yet.
They're going to spot the ball officially at the 2-yard line. And they'll go tight with a single wide receiver to the top. And the keeper to the goal line, touchdown! Caleb Johnson strikes again.
Big Blue, touchdown.
Caleb Johnson, we talked about him every drive, and now it's going to be the very important 2-point conversion for Hamilton to get this back to a tie ball game. But we saw it that entire drive, all 19 plays. It was Caleb Johnson or Elijah Givens. Where's the ball going to? And I tell you what, when you have those dynamic backs in the backfield and the play calling by J.D. Vonderheide there throughout that drive was perfect. It was clinic tape is what we call it in the coaching profession right there. It's a clinic drive for Coach Vonderheide. So this is it right here. This is a big 2-point conversion for Hamilton.
So Johnson scores for the second time tonight, his 14th of the year. And as you mentioned, partner, a big 2-point try. Gabe Verdon's in at quarterback. He'll hand to Johnson off the left end, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. We are tied.
It's good.
We'll take a look at the replay here. What a play. I mean, he just literally waltzes into the end zone. Gabe Verdon, which I was kind of shocked to see him at quarterback, then just hands it off, plants his foot, gets in the end zone for the 2-point conversion, partner. This is an exciting one, man.
What a drive. And if you have, I don't know what this speaks of, just for the fact that it was so long. And in fact, we're counting this up as we speak. This thing took, as we're at the 3:50 mark, 8 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock, just in the fourth quarter alone. and then $1.50 on the other side. This was literally a 10-minute drive. 9:58 officially. 19-play drive, 75 yards. The capper, Caleb Johnson on a 2-yard run out of the Wildcat, and the 2-point conversion on the end around by Johnson is good, and we are tied at 21. Mercy.
Mercy is right, man. Because I'll tell you what, I mean, just what a play, what a drive that was. I'm still trying to kind of come up with words for that. The only thing I can think of is right now is that is just stuff that you show at clinics. That's just unbelievable to me. But now for Mason, you got to get in the end zone here. You got to score. You got to get points on the board out of this drive right now. Hamilton's defense just got to shut them down. Play sound, good, strong defense if you're Hamilton.
Garnett and Lewis is the deep man. It's Garnett at the 20. Angles to the middle, to the 30, down to the 40, to the 42-yard line. So a great kickoff return there for Garnett. Trey Verdon looked like he was in on the special team stop. And with 3:45 left to go, we'll see if we can avoid Brian Kastner's worst fear, and that's giving up yet another fourth quarter lead.
Well, I mean, you kind of look at it, they already kind of have given up their lead that they had. So, that's another fourth quarter lead that has been blown by Mason again. And that's been really their story, and that was his goal tonight's game. They got to finish games, and I just can't tell you how frustrating that is for a head coach. But, hey, right here they're in a position to get points on the board. They got to have a good, meticulous drive right now, chew up that clock.
And we now see Molnar back at quarterback with Sailors in the backfield with him to his right. On first down, the keeper by Molnar. Angles right for good yardage up the middle. He's got a first down and more. Past the 35 down to the 30. What a run from Michael Molnar. 28 yards on the keeper.
Take a look at it on the replay right here. Michael Molnar's kid, he's been doing it all night long, Jeff, and here he does it again. Finds the seam, plants his foot, downfield, breaks through one tackle, falls forward. Huge gain for Mason.
They'll spot him back at the 32. So take a couple of yards off of that, but still the first down and more. Move the chains for Mason with 3:16 left to go. And if you recall from a year ago, Hamilton was in a similar situation to this side of the field, going in with the go-ahead score. And eventually the game winner, Molnar, again, he's got another first down inside the 20-yard line. Michael Molnar making a difference here in the fourth.
Well, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they went right back to Molnar again. And, there's part of me, this is where I'm lucky to, if I was coaching, I'd have assistant coaching. If I'm Coach Mahan, I might call a timeout here and settle down my defense. But, those are also pretty precious in a tight ball game like we are in right now in the fourth quarter.
A year ago to this side of the field, Malik Verdon had a 19-yard, or was it Breon Ishmael? It was Malik Verdon who had a 19-yard touchdown run with about 4.5 minutes left to go in the game, and the Hamilton defense let it stand up for the win 12-7 a year ago. Molnar, actually he gives to the running back, Sears, he's gone! 27-21! On a 19-yard touchdown run for Nick Sailors, and mercy.
Take a look at it here on the replay. Hands the ball off. Great block there by number 65. Gets a great chip block. Opens up that hole. Man, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a good one. But my question is, did they leave too much time on the clock for Hamilton, though? Now, Hamilton, one thing they did very well in their previous drive, which was 19 plays, is they were nice and slow. Have to see what they do coming out here.
And a very big point after attempt for Hernandez. Up and good. 28-21 on a 3-play drive that soaks up 58 yards. It goes 1 minute and 23 seconds. Sailors the run off the right side for 19, and he gives Mason the go-ahead with 2:22 left to go.
Now this is going to get really interesting here. Really, really, really interesting, especially if you're Coach Mahan and Hamilton. Right now, the misdirection in the backfield has been working for you. But the problem with that is you can't have a methodical drive. You're going to be under about 2 minutes here to go, so you can't have that thing where you're just going to continue to chunk away yards. You have to be very careful with your time on the clock. You don't want to leave Mason. We just saw them in 3 plays score a touchdown, so you know that they can score quick. You don't want to give them the ball back with too much time left to go. But again, I'm still waiting for that play action. I got a funny feeling in my stomach that it's coming at some point for Hamilton here, just with the way they've run the ball with Caleb Johnson and Elijah Givens.
You want to talk about a dichotomy between the two teams? In their touchdown drive, it was nearly 10 minutes for Hamilton to go 75 yards. And then on the other side, what happens in response? Mason in a $120 goes 3 plays, and they take it back and take the lead back. Kick it goes to Givens at the 20. Angles up the middle. 30 up the middle to the 40. Angles to the left. Out to midfield at the 47. He nearly broke it.
Well,
beg your pardon, it's Garrett.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's exactly what you needed for Hamilton. Now you got the ball in great field position. So, now you do have a little bit of time maybe to chunk away a couple big running plays now. That is, I cannot tell you how big that play was right there to get this type of field position for Hamilton.
So Jalen Garrett off that left side, a little razzle-dazzle, and one of the things that we've seen from Hamilton throughout the season is the ability to kick, return, and return those kicks for big yardage. So they're out at midfield, out at their own 48, and they need 52 yards and 2:14 to tie it up. And for the first time this year, you and I are biting fingernails. Back to passes for Don with time. He wants the long ball. He throws it away. Breon Ishmael was out there on the far side, and now we've got flags, and now a late hit as Verdon is down on the ground.
So they just called intentional grounding on Hamilton, but we got Gabe Verdon on the ground after a late hit. And that flag was really late there as well for the intentional grounding. Man, I'll tell you what, if I'm Coach Mahan, I'm pretty livid right now. I think he is. And this is just bizarre to me.
While we have a moment here on the injury timeout, if your AC or furnace is struggling, turn to the experts at Bartell's Heating and Cooling. Their certified technicians get the job done right the first time. And if you need a new unit, Bartell's will give you upfront pricing with no hidden fees. Plus, ask about Bartell's 0% interest financing for 60 months. Learn more at bartellsheatingandcooling.com. Bartell's Heating and Cooling for a comfortable way of life throughout the season, and we're thankful to see Verdon back on his feet. For the bulk of the season, partner, you and I could have used air conditioning. In fact, I go back to week 1 with the Hamilton Big Blue on the road at West Claremont, and you and I were literally in a sweat lodge along with Zach Teeters, who's right behind us.
Yeah, that was definitely a little uncomfortable. I mean, shoot, even last week, Jeff, you and I were in shorts, and it was actually a great night. Now we're finally getting a little October chill amongst us. But yeah, good to see Gabe Verdon walk off the field. He took a lick on that play there, and now it's 2nd and 35, 2nd and 23.
So, of course, on the intentional grounding, which was a really tough one, there was a receiver in the vicinity. But we do have the tack on here, and it's 2nd and 23. So a loss of down and the penalty yardage. And the end around, Johnson has it out towards the 40-yard line. A modest pickup on 2nd down.
Well,
Zach Rogers in on the stop.
Well, now the clock goes under 2 minutes, so now you're going to be in full-on 2-minute drill. Now, for Hamilton, you got 3 timeouts in your back pocket, so that's a very big positive for Coach Mahan. But right now, they got to get some plays down the field, and already they're facing 3rd and super long. And
it'll be Elijah Givens as the quarterback on 3rd and 18. He'll keep, and it misses the mesh point, and now they'll call a stop. Givens had thought he escaped on the mishandle. And, boy, that's another loss on the play, and it's 4th in the game right here.
Yep, this will do it. This is the game right here for Hamilton. And they got a long way to go to get that first down. I mean, a long way.
Caden Davis in on the stop. 4th and 21 with 1 minute to go. Both teams, by the way, have a full complement of timeouts, so maybe this is not quite the game, but if you don't convert here, you give Mason great field position. And now do we have our first timeout of the half? We do. Charge to Hamilton with 44 seconds left to go here in this one. Eli Sports Bar and Grill proudly sponsors high school football with 3 locations in Mason, Liberty Township, and in Ross. Our 10-foot screens guarantee a great view from every seat in the house. Eli Sports Bar and Grill, the best place in Cincinnati for sports, food, and fun. Well, we're playing it right down to the wire here in this one here in Hamilton tonight. This one has not disappointed at all.
A lot of
28-21.
A lot of action, and you're right. This is it. This is the season for Hamilton and these seniors right here. You got 4th down and 4th and 21. So, this is going to be big. I'm curious to see what they did. The tactic you do right there for your Coach Mahan with the sideline video that they have now, you're able to get the pictures of the defense. I didn't have that coaching. I left about a year before that all became a big thing. I would have loved to have that, man. I'll tell you what. They got TVs on the sideline now and the whole 9 yards, but that's why you want to do that, to get that picture of what the defense is doing.
So as Mason comes out, what's in your bag of tricks if you're Hamilton?
Oh, my goodness. Right now, you got the old Hail Mary. What I always like is you run a Hail Mary, but you call a bender route in the middle. So you have your inside slot guy. He'll run like he's going to run a deep route, and plant his foot and almost run like a post route to the middle. I've always seen great success with that on these type of Hail Mary plays. So that's what I would be running right now.
So watch for the shallow cross on
Yes.
4th down and 21. Deep drop for the quarterback. It's the home run, and it is picked off out at the 32-yard line. Return man coming back up, and it's a turnover on the interception. I believe that's Kruckerberg again, who's been everywhere on the field tonight.
Yeah, he's been flying all the way around, and I mean that's all you can do right there if you're Hamilton. You can just kind of see the emotions, the wave of emotions coming over the senior class right now for Hamilton. That's a tough one. They played their hearts out here tonight, and that's just it's unfortunate to lose any game, especially senior night at home in this beautiful stadium. I know that's it's a wave of emotions right now on the Hamilton sideline. Obviously for Mason, they're very happy. They're going to finish a 4th quarter finally.
And they're going to the victory formation. So had there been a full complement of timeouts, maybe would have had something different, as Brown ducks in under center, and he'll take the knee. And we'll see if Nate Mahan will elect to call timeouts. He will. So there's one left here for Hamilton with 23 seconds left to go.
Yeah, and this is probably in a situation where you're going to put all your seniors in. Get all the seniors in and on defense, and it looks like they might actually just line it up right now at this point.
Well, actually, the clock has kept running.
Yeah.
So that's the way this game has ended. So no timeout called. They just simply go to the sideline and call it a night. 28-21, and a really fun night here at the Schwarm. Tough one here for Hamilton on senior night as they fall to a record of 2-6. Mason improves to 4-6 on the season.
Yeah, what a battle. Again, saw a 19-play drive, which I've never seen before in my career as a football coach. You saw great play from Caleb Johnson, Elijah Givens, for Hamilton, and then Larson Brown, Colby Lewis for Mason. It's a great game, a great battle back and forth, and I think for Coach Kastner, looking at the keys of the game, they finished the game. They actually finished the 4th quarter, and that's something that they had really, really struggled with. So again, you're going to build off this momentum. Both these teams, though, with the way the playoffs are now, they're both going to have another game come next week. Obviously, they'll both be on the road for it, but again, you got to get these seniors and everybody hyped up for that one. You're in the playoffs now.
Mason is currently the 10th seed, the 15th seed for Hamilton, as we have some final numbers here coming on in. And Caleb Johnson, the good news for him, 18 carries, 97 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He has surpassed the millennium mark.
Good for him. I mean, good for him. And what a performance he put on in front of his future college football coaches here tonight. We had the coaches from Iowa, here tonight. So, again, just a fantastic performance by Caleb.
Michael Molnar was impressive in all facets of the game here tonight. He started at quarterback. He ended up leading his team in rushing, 10 carries for 106 yards, and he did have a score here tonight. Let's go here to, first and foremost, your player of the game. Your play of the game, powered by Headlines Apparel.
The play of the game for me is that third-quarter touchdown pass from Larson Brown to Colby Lewis in the corner of the end zone. The reason is, well, not only did that give them the lead and they never gave it back up, but the ball placement by Larson Brown, was just impeccable there. And that's so hard to coach and teach through there. He threw for 145 yards tonight, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's my play of the game for him right there, that corner touchdown pass to Colby Lewis.
And that's powered by Headlines Apparel. He was also 9 for 9. He was perfect throwing the ball here tonight. In a close one here at the Schwarm. Final thoughts on this one as we put this one to bed.
One thing I will say for Hamilton, and we talked about this last night. It would have been very interesting to see, this season kind of in a snapshot, had they not had been forced to take that 2-game break right after that emotional big Week 1 win coming from behind against West Claremont. With the weapons they have here, if you're able to get that team to gel together into Week 2 and carry that momentum into Princeton, Lakota West, Lakota East, not saying they win those games, but, again, I would have loved to see. I think this is a much more competitive team than what Hamilton has, just because their season was so up in the air. And by Week 5, they were already, they were saying, look, we're making Week 2 mistakes again. And that's really frustrating to see. So I would have loved to have seen that. For Mason, they finished the game tonight, and that's huge. And that's what they have not done all year long. Minus 36 in the fourth quarter alone this year. You come out here tonight, and I was worried. They did give up the lead there in the fourth quarter again, but they came right back with a minute and 20-second drive, 4 plays, boom, boom, boom. Into the end zone they go. So that's what Coach Kastner was really looking for. That's going to be a huge momentum gainer going into the playoffs now that, hey, look, we know that we can do it now, guys. We can play the fourth quarter, and we can win the fourth quarter.
Nick Sailors with the game winner from 19 yards out. With about 2:22 left to go in the ball game, officially seals this one here from the Schwarm tonight. Partner, the end of one season, the beginning of another next week.
Yep, here we go. Playoff time now, Jeff.
Now, as I understand it, playoff pairings will be announced on Sunday. Yeah. You and I are going to have a very festive Sunday and Monday trying to figure out where the heck we're going to go.
I know, but hey, you know what? I'll tell you what. Anytime you get playoff football in the state of Ohio, man, it's going to be a great football game. I cannot wait for Friday night, man.
Partner, it was a fun one. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely.
Again, the final here again tonight from the Schwarm in Hamilton. 28-21, Mason gets away, survives a fourth quarter comeback by Hamilton, and goes on to win. They improved to 4-6 on the season. Hamilton falls to 2-6 here after Week 10. Thanks go out to our crew tonight. Our videographers were Maddie Morris and Alex McClary. Our producers, Art Funk and Zach Teeters. And wherever we are next week, we'll be in a happy spot because it will be the start of the playoffs, and we cannot wait. For Uncle Kev, Kevin Zilch, I'm Geoff Kim. Good night from the Schwarm.